This month I've been exploring freelancing and self-employment. So if that's something of interest to you, then keep watching. As I reflected on my own experiences of self-employment and freelancing, it made me think that there's 4 key phases, I suppose, in terms of deciding to freelance and then how you go about it. The first phase is really making that decision. Why do I want to freelance? Do I want to move into being self-employed rather than employed? What do I offer? What is it that I can sell that someone wants to purchase? What are my responsibilities? What responsibilities do I have to, say, family, and in terms of what I need to be able to earn to keep food on the table, etc. So once you've made that decision, and it might be a decision you just make because you want to change, or it might be a decision you make because it's been forced upon you to some degree, you might have been made redundant and you're rethinking your career options and how you're going to want to work. After you made that decision, you then need to start thinking about setting up the business and thinking about whether it's a limited company or whether you want to be self-employed, whether you need an accountant or other services to support you in terms of setting up that business is pretty key. Once you're into delivery, you need to start thinking about how you keep yourself abreast of changes in your industry. How do you maintain your CPD? How do you maintain a pipeline of work? How do you build that network of potential clients? How do you ensure that you haven't got all your eggs in one basket, and that if one client stops feeding you work, all the wheels fall off? So it's important to think about how you keep yourself abreast of what's happening and building that network and keeping yourself fresh. You also need to think about what HMRC may think of you if you are based in the UK, or your own local tax laws. In the UK, you need to be very careful that you're not seen as really an employee of an organisation, particularly if you are working primarily for them and fall under certain tax laws that would counter that. You also need to think about how you keep yourself networked, how you prevent isolation, particularly if you're working at home. You may of course be working on client site, but all these things are worth thinking about as you actually go through the delivery phase. And then finally really is the stopping phase. When is enough? How do you decide when you've decided you want to potentially go back to employed work? How do you decide whether it's time for a change to do something completely different? And how do you actually wrap up? What do you actually need to do to wrap up the business, do any final accounts, etc., and possibly notify anyone? So they were the 4 phases that I thought of when I thought about setting up my own businesses, and they're worth having to think about, particularly as you move through. What phase are you at now, and what do you need to take into consideration? Coaching helps individuals and teams at all stages and in all sectors. So if you'd like to know how coaching and other leadership development services could be of use to you, go to davidalcottcoach.com and press the Get in Touch button on the home page for a free conversation about how they could work for you.